Mr. Prashant, Kishor, thank you very much for talking to Thanthi TV.
Thank you.
The election bugle has almost been sounded. Tell our viewers in Tamil Nadu what is the greatest political guru of India doing in the interior districts of Bihar when one would expect naturally for you to be guiding political parties in their war rooms on their political strategies and helping them win.
No, I used to do that work, but as you know, post Bengal and Tamil Nadu elections, which was May 2021, I made a formal public announcement that I'm quitting that space, and then after I have taken about a year to think through what do I want to do in my life, and subsequently I took a call that I want to return to my state, which is where we are sitting today in Khagaria, Bihar, trying to understand and probably build a mechanism of sort that helps the people of Bihar come out from their decades of underperformance on key socio-economic development indicators. So, the effort is to build a new political system in Bihar, which could help Bihar and the people here, almost 130 million people, to come out from their distressed situation and be one of the progressive states of India. So, I now have dedicated my life, or at least near foreseeable future of my life, for this cause, and I am completely committed to this, and that is why you are meeting me in this remote hinterland of Bihar, in one of the villages where we live. Like a nomads, we now move from village to village. In last 1 year and a half, I have literally walked through about 5,000 villages, not only walked on foot in these villages, but also lived in these villages. I live, eat, sleep, drink what rural Bihar and the people of Bihar has to offer. So, now this is the new chapter of my life, and I am committed to this, and I do not see me deviating from it in near future.
Sounds very exciting, and I also hope I'll be fortunate to walk with you to tell our viewers more about this movement. But I'm very tempted to focus on the larger picture that the country is concerned about, the battle for 2024. Mission 400, Mission 370 sounds ambitious or achievable?
At this stage, 400 looks definitely far-fetched, but end of the day, it's the people who decide. So, no one can say, I am not the one who would put a number to it, but definitely as of today, as things stand, if elections were to happen tomorrow, NDA led by BJP looks to be in the pole position by wide margin.
When you say 400 and you get any number lesser than this, it will look like an underachievement. Why will the Prime Minister stick his neck out and that to make the claim in the Parliament and record it?
You are right to a point that even if you get an emphatic victory, if you have set the goal very high, anything less than that would be seen like an underperformance. But having said so, this is victory is a victory. So, I think it's a calculated gamble on their part. First, to get this psychological advantage over their political rivals, that people just give up before putting up the fight, which they possibly are capable of. And second, calculated in the sense that even if they achieve few or substantially lower than 400, still if they claim, if victory is theirs, nobody is going to ask, there will be some chatter here and there, but the victory is victory. But net, as I repeat, today if elections were to happen, appears to us that BJP led NDA is in pole position with wide margin. The opposition parties which have formed a coalition under this name of India, they appeared tentative, I would say, not decisive, not coherent either in terms of their narrative, their effort on ground, and hence their preparation is looking a little too weak to take on the massive electoral might of BJP led NDA.
The election is round the corner. Do you think something can go wrong for the BJP between now and the elections, or is it too late for that?
No, certainly things can go wrong. There is no two way about it, because all of us who who have little bit of understanding of socio-political domain, we understand that even 10 days is a very long time in politics. For example, look this farmers protest,
Yes.
which has started in 4-5 days now. Definitely it's a negative for government. 5 days back or 10 days back, you and I would not have factored this in.
Correct.
Something untowards goes in this say andolan or agitation. You never know how things will pan out. So one has to be careful when you are getting into future forecasting. But that's why I'm saying, I'm putting this caveat. If elections were to happen today or tomorrow, BJP-led NDA is in pole position. But 2 months, they still have to go. The 2 months is to pass by, and if something goes horribly wrong for NDA or BJP, you never know, things number could come down.
Can the farmers' issue snowball into a massive political controversy, because they have been on a slippery wicket on this matter even before?
Yeah, we have seen this past. The farmers have been at the loggerheads with the government in a protracted battle, including the farmers from Tamil Nadu. But while it has been very effective and powerful campaign forcing government to take back the farm laws, the only saving grace for government has been that this has not become a pan-India phenomena, not yet. It is still largely, I would say, concentrated in Haryana,
UP.
Punjab, Western UP, parts of, and then the fringe farmer groups, or some farmer groups, I wouldn't call them fringe, the farmer groups from Tamil Nadu, some other states joining forces. But it has not truly become a farmers agitation pan-India. If that were to happen, definitely it will create a huge problem, both in terms of perception as well as the vote share for BJP.
You say BJP is in pole position. Ram Lalla or Narendra Modi? Who has a better appeal this election?
See, these two are not comparable per se, but the vote or the support BJP has, I would say it's definitely the delta or the X factor is Modi. Because Ram Lalla, this Mandir issue, definitely it has given a lot of chatter point to the cadre and the supporter of BJP. It has galvanized probably their supporters. But I do not see, I have also said it somewhere else, I do not see the Mandir per se giving BJP incremental vote, at least in the areas where they have been in dominant position in western and northern India. It could consolidate their vote, it could galvanize their existing vote bank, but I do not see a new vote addition purely because of this reason. Maybe on the margin in states like Tamil Nadu or other southern states or the eastern states, they might get some advantage. But no, at net, I still think Modi is the factor.
It will help to consolidate, but it might not bring great increment.
I would say it just strengthens their key trump card, which is Modi. It strengthens his persona. The election is about whether you are for Modi or you are against Modi. And when we say for Modi or against Modi, it includes, it encompasses everything. Who he is, what his ideology is, his governance style, what his deliveries or lack of it has been, the way he has dealt with issues, the way he has pursued some of his promises, everything put together. Now, Ram Mandir, making of Ram Mandir, that also is part of that promise. To that extent, supporters of BJP would give credit to Mr. Modi that during his time, the Mandir finally has been built. But it will still add up to Modi only, not the other way around.
I see. India alliance visibly looks in disarray. Could it have got it right had they started a little early?
Time is one factor which we do not talk much. While in my own experience in 8 or 10 years in dealing in this socio-political domain, especially elections, time could be one of the most I would say fundamental and most relevant, most important factor. Just imagine if India alliance were to have been formed 2 years back, the people of this country would have been able to gauge who they are, what they stand for. They would have had more time to probably adjust to the nitty-gritties of the seat adjustment. They would have had a common narrative. They would have had time to take that narrative to the masses. They would have time to iron out their differences, organizational, strategic and otherwise. But just because it happened only say 8-9 months back, probably on the verge of election, when everyone is seeing elections right around the corner, it is not giving enough confidence to even the constituents of India that whether we would have enough time to fight back, to turn the tide. And that itself is a big moral setback, because if the constituents of India Alliance see that the tide is not turning in their favor, more and more people will find reasons to leave. They are leaving, that is making India Alliance weak, but they are also leaving because India Alliance is appearing to be weak.
What stopped them from doing this experiment in 2021, 21 or 22?
Well, you need to go and ask the key constituents of India Alliance, the Congress, the DMK, the TMCs, the other RJDs and SPs of the world. I keep on repeating this, that maybe you are not clear about how to counter Hindutva. Maybe seat sharing arrangements are tricky to discuss and finalize well in advance. But everybody definitely knew that there will be an election in 2024. Correct. All these gentlemen, all the men and women who are leading faces of India Alliance, they always knew that elections are going to be in 2024. What prevented you to get into huddle and do all this, what you are trying to do or supposed to do now? You could have done 2 years back, 3 years back. That itself would have given you a strategic advantage. Just imagine, a lot of people are talking about Ram Mandir celebration happening this close to Lok Sabha election. But for these celebrations to happen in January 2024, BJP, Mr. Modi, his dispensation would have planned it at least 2-3 years before, because you cannot make the mandir and time everything 1 month if you wake up 1 month before. So if they thought that okay, elections are in May 2024, April, May 2024, we have to have this mandir ready by January 2024, hence start all the work, preparatory work, building. So if all that details could have been thought by BJP and NDA, what prevented India Alliance constituents to be equally, if not more, conscious of the timeline and start their effort or the counter to BJP NDA efforts 2 years or 3 years in advance?
Can they still get their acts together and probably bring BJP less than 270 or close to 250?
I don't know about the numbers, but definitely it's late. And with every passing day, more and more people, even the die-hard supporters of India, would find it very difficult to have that confidence that they have game in their hand as the time passes by. As it happens, if you have not prepared well and you reaches close to the exam, you would not be able to probably get what you would have done in a normal situation in terms of your studies, because you are worried and you see that exam is staring, you are not well prepared, so you are trying to find some shortcuts, you might make mistakes. So I don't think there is much India Alliance or opposition parties can do over next 1 month and a half, 6 to 8 weeks to turn the tide. If something comes up from the people's side, like what is happening in farmers' agitation and all, that no one can predict. But as political parties or formation, I don't see any strategy or anything radical which they could do over next, say, 4 to 6 weeks that could turn the tide decisively in their favor. Having said so, elections come and go. That's not the end of democracy. That's not end of democratic ideological fight. They must fight with all the might they have. And even if results do not, for argument's sake, if the results doesn't go in favor of India, they must learn from this experience and double up their effort and resolve and prepare for elections that will come post-May, so that they don't get into the same cycle of being underprepared, being late, not on time in the next round of elections.
They go into sulking and brooding after the elections.
But that's the problem. That has been the pattern, that you are late in these elections, you are caught underprepared, you lose. But there is two ways to deal with it. You lose and you take a resolve that I would make sure that this situation I don't have to face this situation ever again. And hence, I will not let one day go by without putting the best effort possibly I could. If they get again into sulking mode, again the next round of election, they will be facing the same situation what they are facing today.
If not in 2024, do you see a time when brand Rahul Gandhi can re-emerge and take Congress into greater heights?
See, until and unless there is a greater acceptance and connect of the masses with Congress, the whole party as such, it's very difficult to foresee a situation where an individual can just galvanize it overnight.
That's exactly what he's doing. There are only
No,
two individuals doing Padyatra. One is Prashant Kishor and one is Rahul Gandhi.
No, Rahul Gandhi.
Maybe he's doing things differently.
Yeah, he is doing things differently. He's a very tall leader. I am nobody. What I am trying to do. Mine is a long-term thing, 3 years, 4 years, building things from scratch. I am not build. I have not made a party. I am not. To face an election in 2 months' time. Rahul Gandhi is running a very large party to some extent, even the whole coalition called India, and he has on his shoulders the burden to.
You believe he is still in charge?
Of course, he is in charge. It's
Not
not for
Kargil?
me to believe. I think it's out there. It's clear to everyone that no significant strategic or tactical or operational, for that matter, decision could be made without his concurrence.
He still has the veto.
That is what appears to most of us.
Can the Congress party do without the Gandhis, let alone flourish? Can it survive without the
Yes
Gandhis?
and no. Congress party per se, the whole political formation which recognizes itself as Congress, they can certainly survive and thrive, even thrive without Gandhis. But the present formation of Congress, which a lot of us we do not realize, this is an Indira Congress. This is not what the original Congress was. The Indian National Congress has gone through many I would say evolution. One form which exists today is the Indira Congress, which is now called Indian National Congress. So this formation, this dispensation, because the way they have come together, the way they have built their political, socio-political careers, it's very difficult to foresee them galvanizing themselves without Gandhis, because their very existence has been linked to or have been subservient to some extent to what Gandhis have decided to do, starting with Indira ji. So I do not see the present formation or the present dispensation of Congress seeing a future without Gandhis, but Congress per se, the political formation, they definitely can survive, and because they have survived before Indira Gandhi's era, before 67, before 70s, there was Congress which was not only dependent on a family or a person.
What is the second best thing they have next to the Gandhis? How do you think they can flourish? If we imagine the Gandhis decide to leave, what will happen to the party? Will it not splinter into many Congress parties?
Well, I tell you something. I borrow an example from your state. I was told, and I would not name the person, but just take it that it's coming from a horse's mouth. Somebody asked Jayalalitha ji that why don't you name your successor? Who will succeed your party? And she said that I am never going to name a successor. I would name a successor as a chief minister if I have to, because she went to jail a couple of times and she named.
That will be a seat warmer.
OPS, but she didn't name the successor of the party, and she gave a very prudent logic to it, that MGR never named Jayalalitha. She had to fight, and party went through the splinter groups and all those things. She fought and she earned the position, and then she fought to make AIADMK emerge as a political force in due course. Similarly, what we have seen, that lot of names that were discussed as a potential successor of Jayalalitha ji, I don't think EPS name was there as prominently in minds of anybody.
Not at all.
But he fought and he got the leadership. I think this is the better way, because if you actually fight, there are a little bit of fight and defections and people going, there could be chaos. But whoever is able to emerge from that chaos probably is the right candidate and would have the mettle and the character and the attributes that is required for someone to lead the party, rather than everything just being smooth transferring of power. Because if it is smooth, that means either that person has not gone through the grind, or that person is somebody who is just being nominated by somebody who has the authority to pass on the metal.
Doesn't that chaos also do harm to the party?
It does in short run, but in long run it helps. Killing democracy or weakening the democratic processes both within and outside party in long run is never good, and this is the universal truth we should accept. Sometime democratic keeping processes and parties internal external decision making democratic might create chaos, might lead to some short term setbacks also, but ultimately it will make sure that you as a political formation remains vibrant and you are led by person who is rightful occupant of that position, not the inheritance because of name, caste, nominations, etc.
You see, that's the organic way of a leader race.
That is the only way a new leadership can emerge. That's the only way that leader can galvanize anyone who gets the chair through nomination for whatever reason, whether you are a consensus candidate, like take for example Mr. Kharge's position. He's literally a nominated Congress president.
There was an election.
No, I'm telling you, but you know that he literally has been handpicked. So, or before that, say Rahul Gandhi was there. He was there because who he is, his surname. In both cases, it's not through the grind. So, unless you have reached that position through the grind, fighting a democratic battle and emerging as the leader, you wouldn't have either the courage or character, or I would say most important, the confidence to take things forward the way it should be taken to galvanize the party.
Is democracy at peril in India?
See, whenever you have a very strong government led by a strong leader, some of these democratic norms, practices, institutions come under pressure. We have seen it during the times, say, of Indira Gandhi. We are seeing it now under Modi. If you are a Congress supporter, you would find what Mr. Modi is doing is destroying democracy. If you are a BJP supporter, you will put a counter argument that India has seen such tactics, practices during Indira's time. But as a neutral citizen, as a concerned citizen, anybody who is looking things objectively would find that democracy has been compromised or put under pressure in both dispensations. The extent could vary. Maybe some institutions were put more under pressure during her regime, some under his regime. But this is something that as a nation we need to be careful, we need to be guarded, and we need to be very, very vigilant. Whether it's Congress, BJP, whether it's Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi, Modi or somebody else, anybody who becomes more powerful than the constitution, than the institutions and the people and their interest at large is not in the interest of the country.
Is Mr. Narendra Modi on that league? Being taller than the institutions.
I'm saying he definitely appears to be leading a monolith government, a very strong leader, and any leader who becomes that powerful would show tendency.
Can he be defeated?
Of course he can be defeated. Who tells you? He has been defeated all along. He has been defeated. He won in 2014. He was defeated in 2015 in Delhi and Bihar. Between January, just for your audience, keep this in mind. A lot of people who think Modi is like he has been on winning track for last 10 years, they are making a huge mistake. Between January 2015 to May 2015, 15 months, they did not win any election but for one in Assam. They lost Delhi, they lost Bihar, Tamil Nadu, all other states. Bengal, they lost everything. They won only, barely managed Assam, that too as a coalition government. So 15 months, no luck. Then again, starting Gujarat 2017, they barely managed Gujarat, barely survived. Then they lost Karnataka, then they lost Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan. So again, November 2017 to December 2018, Almost again 12-15 months, they won nothing. Then again in 2021, look at Bengal, they were decimated. So, to say that they have not been defeated, they have been one-way traffic and they have been winning everything, that is not the case. Till very recently, 17 states in India have been ruled by parties which have defeated BJP, but they are non-BJP parties.
Right. Do you trust the EVMs fully? Can they be manipulated, do you believe?
Say, I frame it in three parts. First, technically whether it can be manipulated or not, I am not a technical expert to comment. So, I would refrain myself and I would leave this comment to the technical experts who know how the chips work, how they are pre-programmed, whether they can be hacked, manipulated. I do not know. So, I would not comment on that. Operationally, can you manipulate systematically 10 lakh plus EVMs without anyone getting to know? Looks very, very unlikely. The third point is political. Assume for a second that it is seem to be compromised. If it is the case, then you have to have a massive pan-India agitation. You cannot be just making this a side issue. It cannot be a side remark. It could be the main issue to an extent where all opposition parties who really think that it is manipulated, they say that we are not going to fight elections.
Public will agitate too. I voted for somebody and how is somebody else?
That's what I am saying. Then, so if you are genuinely believing that it is manipulated, then there is nothing called mahangai and unemployment and farmers issue. That the only issue is the EVM. Because no matter what issue you raise, if the EVM is compromised, that means the result will go one way. So, put these three things together, I do not see the coherence or the merit in those who are making an argument as off the cuff remark that EVMs are compromised. If it is compromised, find the best technical people to come and demonstrate. Operationally, make sure that the establishment where your party is in government or opposition parties are in government, they find some proof. And third and foremost and most important, make it a central issue, go to the masses, make it the mass issue across India that look, your vote is not casted and counted fairly. If you do this thing, then I will take your EVM claim seriously. If you are not doing it, then I say you are just doing it as a living room gossip.
Does secular brand of politics have future in India?
I don't know. There is certainly left of center ideological space has future, has present and future. See, I always say this, opposition to right of center what BJP claims to represent is never weak. BJP at its peak has got 38%, 40% vote, even with you add their coalition vote into it. So that means 100 people who went to vote on the polling day, majority of them, 60, 62 of them did not voted for BJP. They were not convinced despite Mr. Modi and his cult, despite Ram Mandir, despite Hindutva, despite Pulwama, nationalism, welfareism, all the political and electoral muscle. All things put together, 60, 62 were not convinced. They did not vote. That tells you that there is a denominator and there is a space and there is a future. Having said so, that 60, somebody, some ideological platform, some ideological formation, political formation, some leader, some narrative has to galvanize to take the bulk of that 60%. Even if you take 60% of 60, you would be matching BJP at the national level.
Is there a national alternative to Congress? Can there be a national alternative to Congress, if not in the near future, in the distant one?
Again, when you say Congress, for me it's a generic word that loosely represents left of center ideological space in India.
Not the INC party
not
that
the
exists.
Party. See, the party and the office bearers are not the whole Congress. They are the present formation of Congress. So, present formation, can they emerge as an alternative? Very unlikely. But Congress, the idea, the political formation in its totality, yes, they have the merit and they have a scope to emerge and they will emerge sooner or later.
Can any other party take that
I
space?
give an example. See, RSS had Jansangh. Jansangh was a formidable, reasonably formidable party in 50s. Then it saw the decline, it literally disappeared. But the ideological space, right of center remained, Sangh remained, and 30-40 years later they emerged in the form of BJP. and another 20 years they go on to win India. That's what I am saying. The ideological space, the right of center.
Can it be filled by another party?
No,
If not the Congress?
no, the name could be anything. Again, I am saying Jansangh is called BJP, but ideological space is the same.
Can an
Rooted
Aam Aadmi party?
Rooted in what Sangh would like this political formation to represent, whether it was called Jansangh or BJP.
Correct.
Doesn't matter, but it's still the party coming out of the ideological rooting to Hindutva, RSS, and right of center. To that extent, a party, whether it's called Congress, Indian National Congress, Indira Congress, whatever Congress A, Congress B, some other Congress, that space remains. It would never die in India. It would always have a chance. So long somebody comes, a leader, a narrative, a formation that can galvanize, you would see a formidable challenge.
For how long do you see the current BJP being the major force or the major pole in Indian politics?
So, as a major political force, not as a ruling force, make the distinction, because I don't want it to be misquoted.
Right.
That Prashant Kishor said that another 20-30 years BJP will not be defeated. BJP will remain a major political force at least for next 25-30 years, if not beyond, around which the politics will move, like it was in the case of Congress, say in 50s, 60s and 70s. Then between 80s to 2010, this 30 years we had an era of coalition, loosely represented one side by Congress, loosely represented one side by anti-Congressism. Now it's going to be BJP and anti-BJP. The right of center one side represented predominantly by BJP, left of center predominantly represented by INC and their allies. Now, which one? Both will survive. Both will survive, I have no doubt about it.
One last question. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I see myself definitely having created exemplary political system in Bihar. In 10 years time, Bihar as being one of the catalysts who would have helped Bihar become one of the progressive states of India. Beyond that, I do not have a visibility.
Do you have ambitions beyond Bihar?
No, my ambitions right now, I live my life in cycle of 10 years. 10 years I was in United Nations. 10 years, roughly about 9-10 years, I did what people call this electoral strategy and all. Now 10 years, I have focused myself to create this political system in party or system in Bihar that fundamentally transforms politics and governance in Bihar, delivering results, taking Bihar in top 10 states of India. If I am able to do that, then I will see the life beyond that.